Hello beautiful friends, what's up and welcome back to the Loosely Bound YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Iain Reid. I'm going to give you a little bit of a synopsis so you actually know what this book is about before you pick it up, and I'll review what I thought of it after I finished reading it. This video is going to be totally spoiler free, so no worries if you haven't read it yet and you're interested in grabbing it. And speaking of grabbing it, if you want to pick up this book for yourself, just check out the link down below. I went ahead and posted it there so you can easily find it and order it for yourself. So I picked up I'm Thinking of Ending Things on a huge book haul that I did at the end of 2020 because I saw a Netflix trailer of a movie version of I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and the movie just looked so bizarre that it definitely caught my attention and stuck with me. At this point, I still haven't seen the film adaptation, but I have finished the book, and to say that it's bizarre is an understatement. This book was so freaking loopy, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's talk about what actually happens in I'm Thinking of Ending Things first. When you first pick up the paperback version of I'm Thinking of Ending Things, the only thing that this tells you is you will be scared, but you won't know why. Other than that, there is absolutely no summary. It doesn't describe the plot. It doesn't tell you anything about what you can expect from reading this book. It just lets you know that you're gonna be scared and you're not gonna know why you're having those feelings of fear. So even that was really different. You know, most books will tell you a little bit of a plot summary so you can determine whether you're interested or not. But no, I'm Thinking of Ending Things just is determined to do absolutely everything different. But what actually happens in this book is a relatively new couple is going to meet the boyfriend's parents for the first time. Our narrator is the female, and she's not given a name at the beginning of this book. We're just hearing everything from her point of view. She and her boyfriend Jake are driving up to visit his parents and have dinner with them, and it will be her first time meeting his family. Now, what Jake doesn't know is that our narrator is actually thinking of ending the relationship. She's contemplating on whether they should break up or if it's actually going to go somewhere. And if it's not going to go somewhere, she feels that she shouldn't continue to lead him on and should just go ahead and let him know that she wants to end things. So during the entire drive, she's in her head thinking about how they met, some things that they have done together, how their relationship has gone so far, and she's weighing the pros and the cons of whether their relationship is actually worth saving. We're also getting an inside view of some of the narrator's younger life and just different points and aspects of her life that are worth mentioning. She's also maintaining a conversation with Jake throughout the drive where they are talking about different ideas, different philosophies, and just really kind of introspective conversation topics. Now, just the driving portion of them getting to Jake's parents' house takes up a good chunk of this book. The first 70 pages that you read are just Jake and his narrator girlfriend on the drive, and that part to me was very, very slow. I'm Thinking of Ending Things only comes in at 210 pages. So for the first third of the book to be nothing but weird pieces of backstory that you can't really put together yet, intellectual conversation that in some points I had a hard time following, and just some drier areas altogether, I did label this book as a slow burn. So that's going to be one of the first things that I tell you is if you're not into a slow burn type of read, this may not be the book for you. Another thing that you'll notice at the beginning of the book is after every chapter that follows Jake and our narrator, there's a quick little section of some conversation being held between people that we aren't sure who they are yet, talking about some tragedy that happened, and those little conversations pop in at the end of every chapter. Now, you can definitely tell that these conversations are going to be meaningful to the story, but it does take a little while for those to make sense, and that also added to this book just being a slow burn for me. But after about page 70, when Jake and his girlfriend actually get to his parents' house, things start to get weird and uncomfortable and tense and crazy, and it all happens so fast from there. So I definitely recommend that you stick with this book. Don't give up on it, because once things do pick up, they pick up fast and just get totally out of control. Once they reach his parents' house, the tension just becomes overwhelming. His parents are acting a little different. Jake starts acting weird and kind of starts shutting down, whereas normally he's very talkative. The narrator starts seeing some weird things. There's weird photos, weird paintings. Just the parents are so weird that the whole time you're reading it, you're just on the edge of your seat. And exactly like the book said, you don't really understand why, because nothing bad is necessarily happening. You can just tell that the tension is building up so much, and you know something absolutely nuts is going to happen from there. From there, the book takes a really unexpected turn, and the actual plot of the last third, the scenery, the setting of this book is something that I didn't even know happened in this book. Like I said, I haven't seen the film adaptation yet, so I'm not sure if what happens at the end of this book happens in the film version, but it actually does leave the parents' house and takes place in a third setting that I just had no idea was even coming. As far as my review of I'm Thinking of Ending Things, I did only give it 3 stars on Goodreads, but I would absolutely still recommend this book to other people that are looking for some kind of psychological thriller, something with some plot twists, and something to kind of make you feel like you're in your head. But I didn't rate it any higher just because it was such a slow burn at the beginning. But I was really interested in where this book was going to go, so I am very, very glad that I stuck with it, because the last 2/3 of this book was phenomenal. I'm Thinking of Ending Things is also written in a way where it's a little hard to follow at some points. So I feel like reading this book a second time would totally change my opinion of it, now that I can kind of understand how the narrator speaks and some of the subtle little clues that are happening throughout the book. I think I would really, really enjoy reading this a second time. So I may pick it back up again in a few months, or maybe even a year from now, just to give it a reread and see how it hits differently a second time. If you've read I'm Thinking of Ending Things, let me know in the comments what you thought of it, because this is one of those books that after you finished it, you're gonna want to share it with other people so you can speculate and get some ideas of how they felt about the certain aspects that made this book such a psychological, twisting thriller. And if you haven't read I'm Thinking of Ending Things, just check out the link below so you can order your copy. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out today while we talked about I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Iain Reid. As always, if you have any book suggestions for me, leave them in the comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.